and the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran fast, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight to invade the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, in the home of the
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with
Freedom Train.
approximately 30 miles east of Des Moines, located in Newton, Iowa, with a design influenced by none other than Rusty Wallace. Iowa Speedway is a 1.4-kilometer oval motor speedway, and it's the site of tonight's atopgamers.com 150. Tonight I'm joined in the booth by Curtis Young and Robert McFarland. Curtis, welcome to Iowa, and what's it going to take to win here?
I think it's going to take a lot of throttle control for the most part. The truck is really loose in turns 1 and 2 from what I understand. Pretty tight in 3 and 4, but it does like to snap loose coming right off the corner, especially if you try and use that bottom lane through 3 and 4. So I think it's just going to take a lot of patience and throttle control here tonight, and everybody's just going to have to be careful and try and save their tires too if they can. This track is really abrasive, so if we get some long green runs, they're going to really need to save their stuff.
Well, I watched practice with you, Curtis, up here from the booth, and we saw a lot of these trucks coming around, with the back end snapping loose, and it seems like a lot of guys racing 3 wide. Hopefully they kind of tone that down at the first part of the race tonight, and we'll be able to get some long green flag runs in. Has anybody seen Robert McFarland around here?
I am right here. Thank you so much, Joe and Curtis. I'm going to take a back seat position tonight, just cover some important things. When necessary, Joe and Curtis are going to have the play-by-play, and fans, there's going to be a lot of play-by-play tonight at this short track. Like you said, Joe, it's a 7/8 mile, and things are going to happen. Hopefully we have a lot of long green flag runs, but just so the fans do know, you are watching the atopgamers.com 150 live on All Pro Broadcasting. You guys can go over what you're seeing in qualifying, and I'll try to get a hold of our good friend Gary Sexton.
Yeah,
and the points. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we'll go over the top 10 in points here and then get a chat with Gary Sexton. Top of the board is number 51 of James Ross right now. He's got 495 points. Second place is Gerald Campbell. Gerald is still looking for that first win on the season, and he's been close. He's had a lot of top 5s, top 10s, just hasn't been able to get the job done yet. Vernon Markheim, 451 points, rides in third place right now. Andrew Kessler in fourth, your winner last week at Gateway. Jack Watson, the 66, he rounds out your top 5 right now with 438 points. Tyler Chalk in the 07 machine, he's sitting in 6th place right now with 410. Judd Danielson in 7th place. Mark Jackson sitting in 8th place right now, and Gary Sexton in 9th in his number 17 machine at 393, and William Locklear just 4 points behind him to round out the top 10.
It's definitely a close field tonight, Curtis. I'm looking at the guys in the top 10 as well, and what's interesting to me is 4 drivers out of the top 10 are the only ones with wins. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those guys in the top 10 will be able to punch that ticket into the chase and get their first win tonight. I think we're going to be dialing up Gary Sexton here in a minute. Gary's completing qualifying right now. Gary, this is Joe up in the booth. You got a copy tonight?
Yeah, 10-4 loud and clear, Joe.
Hey, Gary, we appreciate you coming up here for the start of the race. That 17 Silverado is looking awfully racy. Right now we see you in 5th in qualifying with a 24-2. Kind of tell the people at home what you're seeing in the track tonight as far as how the conditions are changing, what you're feeling out there in your truck.
Yeah, Joe, track tonight's actually, it's kind of ever-changing lap after lap. It's real tight getting in, and what happens is a lot of these guys are gonna overdrive the corners. They're gonna put a lot of wheel into it, trying to keep it tight, and then or try to keep it from drifting up to the wall. And then what's gonna happen is when you come out of the turn, the car's gonna snap around loose on them. So look for guys to be real tight in, super loose off, and it should make for once these tires wear off, it should make for some pretty fun racing. Guys will be all over the track. I feel like the high lane's good here, and the middle lane's pretty good too. So a couple different lanes, lots of passing. This should be a pretty fun race.
All right. Well, I know you're in the, I believe it's the Hex Cam Silverado tonight. Tell me a little bit about that sponsor.
Yeah, HexCam is it's a camouflage company that's owned by my friend out here in Colorado. It's the pattern is all designed around hexagon shapes, and it's a really cool pattern. Lots of good reviews. You can check them out at hexcam.net if you're looking for some new, real good camouflage, whether you want some casual stuff or you're looking for real hunting gear. They've got a whole selection of stuff for all the camo guys out there.
Well, I know that camouflage is supposed to keep you from being unseen, but hopefully we'll see you tonight in Victory Lane, man. Good luck out there, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, 10-4, Joe. have a fun broadcast up there.
We definitely will.
And on that note, tonight we are going to cross the halfway point in the 2017 Domino's TYJ Dented Fenders Truck Campaign 29 race schedule, and 14 races down. This is race number 15. Once we cross over lap number 75 tonight, that's the halfway point. So qualifying has came to a close, and we are going to run down the starting grid.
Well, it looks like up front on the pole tonight, we got James Ross. To his outside, we'll have William Davis in second. Giovanni Bramante will find himself starting third. To his outside, Gabriel Wood will roll off fourth. Jeff T. Martin will be in fifth. To his outside will be Blake Griffin in sixth. Gary Sexton will be seventh. Row 7 will be rounded out with, row 4 will be rounded out with William Locklear in eighth. Vernon Markheim in ninth. And David Ray will round out the top 10. So he's going to start to the outside of row 5. What about the rest of the guys there, Curtis?
Starting just outside the top 10, number 6 of Gerald Campbell sitting second in the points right now, looking for a solid run tonight, hopefully a win for him. And right beside him to his outside is last week's winner from Gateway, the number 98 of Andrew Kessler, so you know he'll be out there hungry for 2 in a row. Mark Jackson started 13th tonight, with Gary Weston to his outside in 14th. JP Arsenault starts in 15th tonight in his number 21 machine. Ray Richer starts 16th. Eric Stanford in his number 24 is starting 17th tonight. Garrett Robinson to his outside. Tim Rangers in his number 70 machine with his wife Michelle spotting, of course, starting in the 19th position tonight. Chad Payne to his outside rounds out your top 20.
You know, Curtis, we got to watch practice up here in the booth. And I do this with Ray whenever we've got him up in the booth and we're spotting. Who's your pick tonight? Who do you like?
Well, you know what? Last time by, Giovanni Bramante was really strong. He made a mistake entering pit road that really cost him any chance he had at the race. He definitely was up front and led a bunch of laps, so I'm going to go ahead and guess that he corrected that mistake for this race, and he's going to have a great shot at it.
I think I'm going to have to go a little bit further into the field. I'm going to go with that fitness truck tonight. Jeff T. Martin, he was super fast in practice. The truck looked good, like he had a lot of control. So, that's going to be my pick, and I guess we'll have to wait and see, man, see who's right here.
Well, Jeff T. Martin, if I do recall, did win the last Dented Fenders truck race here at Iowa, so that wouldn't be a bad pick. Side by side coming to the line with James Ross, I do believe, was the finish of the race. So we'll see what happens tonight if Jeff's got the speed that he did last time we were here.
Absolutely, and let's not forget about Andrew Kessler back there. I know he starts 12th, but he did win Gateway, so we know that Andrew Kessler knows how to get the job done and get to the front. So it'll be interesting to see if he's able to move forward with these tight conditions that they've got so far and work this traffic.
Another guy who's always up there too is Mark Jackson. He's starting in 13th tonight. His practice time wasn't the strongest, 18th time and fastest time in practice, but he always seems to work his way up into the top 5 or 10. It seems like lately he's been having some bad luck and getting wrecked out before he could get up there. So we'll see what he's got going on for him tonight. Lights are off atop the Mustang pace car. We'll be green in about half a lap here.
Yeah, this is always a great time, man. I always enjoy this moment. You've waited for the race to get started, and when these guys start coming off double file, nose to tail, and those lights are off, man, it's a special time to watch here at Domino's TYJ. Curtis, you can bring us to green?
Yeah, pace car is off, and green flag is out for the first time tonight in the A-Top Gamers 150. James Ross gets a good jump down into turn 1.
James Ross indeed does get a good jump. He's starting to try to put some distance on the field already. Looks like everybody's going to work single file, maybe a little bit of double file action as they work off too. But for the most part, everybody's taking their time, being extra cautious on this first lap.
Yeah, Bromante's trying to work that bottom line in 3 and 4 on this opening lap here to get by the number 11 of William Davis, and the inside line can work for a few laps, but it really burns tires, and especially that bottom line in 1 and 2 seems really loose this week during the daytime conditions, as we see Bromante get loose already there, and Gabriel Wood comes charging by. William Davis on the outside as well there, but Gabriel Wood moves himself up into the second spot there with a power move. And it looks like Bromanti is still stuck on the bottom side by side with William Davis as they head down the front stretch here.
Well, if you want some good racing, you don't have to go too far back in the pack. We've got Blake Griffin, William Davis, Jeff T. Martin all back here dicing it up as they race for what looks like 6th position right now. Back behind them, everybody's kind of single file. Like I said, they're just taking care of their equipment starting off. I don't really think we're going to see a whole lot of hard racing in the top 10. But these guys know that, being up front is important, and that's where they're trying to get.
Yeah, on this note, guys, I do want to remind the fans here on Lap 4, like every Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday night at 8:50 p.m. Eastern, fans, you do have the chance to win that free large Domino's pizza. Looks like we had an incident on track. We're staying green, it looks like right now. Real quick, I'm just going to give you the details so I can get that in while I can real quick. All you have to do, fans, to win that free large 3-topping Domino's pizza is you can text me personally, 919-883-7497. If you're watching on your device, you can say, I choose this driver to win the race tonight. You have to make your pick tonight before lap 75. The first fan who accurately picks the winner of the race will win a large 3-topping Domino's pizza, carry out only, anywhere in the United States of America.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, up front I'm watching James Ross and Gabriel Wood. James Ross seems like he's really starting to settle in. He's starting to pull away just a little bit from Gabriel Wood. Back in third, we've got William Davis. Jeff T. Martin's going to be in fourth, and Giovanni Bramante are going to round out your top 5. The guys that we talked about earlier in the broadcast we thought would be fast, R&D, quick. It'll be interesting to see if these guys can start making up some time here.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
And we do have a caution. We'll get that replay pulled up as soon as we can.
Must have been a self-spin here because I can't.
Yeah, it looks like the 9 of Chad Payne in that Office HQ Chevy Silverado had some issues there. Looks like all by himself coming off the corner here. His back end steps around like we talked about. He almost saves it. He comes back across the bottom of the track. Just barely comes over the yellow line. No contact for him, the wall, or any other truck. So a very slow spin there, and Chad will be able to continue on.
Yeah, what was the who was the driver that was involved in the incident earlier, Robert? I wasn't able to see that, the guy that came up into the wall, but I know somebody had kind of gotten themselves into some trouble as well early on in the race.
Yeah, that was the 33 of Vernon Margheim while Robert was going over the pizza giveaway there. Vernon Margheim just barely got into the back. I'm not sure who he got into the back of. He didn't upset the person in front of him's truck at all, but he bumped them, checked up a little bit, and then it looked like he came down a little bit on the 17 of Gary Sexton, or him and Sexton were side by side, and might have been a little bit of net code too, but Margheim ended up in the wall coming off a 2. Has quite a bit of damage on the right side of that Toyota Tundra there. We're at a short track here tonight, so as long as it's not too bad, he should be A-okay, but looks like he's going to stay in there and get some damage repair for the time being.
Yeah, 10-4 guys. I was down here in the pits of James Ross and Gabriel Wood. Both these drivers took 4 tires, 2 cans of Sunoco fuel. We know tires are going to be critical tonight. I expect 4 tire stops all night long. I don't really think anybody's going to take that chance on a 2-tire stop. So up front, everything looks the same, and we'll reset the field for you once we get it sorted out.
Yeah, I don't think anybody stayed out there at all, Curtis and Joe. So everybody came down, like you said, got new tires and fuel. And like you said, that's probably going to happen every single caution we have, unless it's at the very end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely right, Robert. I couldn't agree with you more. You know, maybe there's a gamble down the road, but right now these drivers know how critical these tires are, and nobody's going to gamble on a 2-tire stop. Curtis, you want to take us back to the top 10? Looks like they're all reset.
Yeah, the top 10 looks relatively unchanged from the start of the race. A couple guys swapping up positions. We still have James Ross at the top of the board. Gabriel Wood is right behind him in second place. He started in fourth. He hasn't had the chance to run too many of these dented fenders truck races, and when he's been out, he's ran strong and just had terrible luck. So another fast qualifying time for him tonight. He's up front right now. We'll hopefully the bug doesn't bite him again here tonight, and if it doesn't, he's another strong contender here to watch. William Davis is riding in third right now. Giovanni Bromanti in fourth. He started in third, so William Davis has slid back 1 as well as has Giovanni Bromanti. looks like Jeff T. Martin's still riding there in 5th. Blake Griffith's still in 6th. Locklear has moved from 8th up to 7th, and Sexton's moved from 7th to 8th. Those two swap positions. Looks like David Wright and Gerald Campbell have also moved up a spot each.
Yeah, Joe, if you want to tell the fans about our new feature here, we're going to have on the restart.
Fans, I'll tell you what, if you got a surround sound or you got some speakers hooked up to your TV, now's the time to go ahead and turn that volume up to 11. Sit back and enjoy the All-Pro Broadcasting. Crank it up as we go back to green.
Green flag, green flag. Alright, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
Caution is out again. Unfortunately, we're going to have to interrupt that, crank it up for caution. It looks like Gerald Campbell spins and Andrew Kessler absolutely T-bones him.
Yes, we'll get the replay pulled up as soon as we can here, fans.
Looks like it starts with the 42 and the 6. The 6 of Gerald Campbell and the 42 of David Wright got together going into turn 1 there. They both got spun sideways. Kessler plows into the 6 of Gerald Campbell, and looks like pretty much everybody else gets by in this game.
We had a spin from Jeff T. Martin back here as well. I think he checked up, trying to get slowed down. A self-spin, didn't hit the wall or anything. The 15's going to get away unscathed, but he did enjoy a quick 360 down on the back straightaway.
It looks like we had 2 different incidents there. The 15 of Jeff T. Martin got spun around, as well as the 6 of Gerald Campbell. Like you just said, he did get T-boned by the Aegis number 98, I think it is.
Well, Robert, we certainly talked about this earlier in the broadcast at the beginning of the race, how crucial it was to kind of work that rubber into these grooves and try to get, let these trucks come to them instead of trying to race each other right out of the box. But, these Domino's TYJ drivers, they like to get after it on lap 1, and unfortunately we're starting to see some of the results of that. I'd like to think these guys will settle down now that they're starting to see the trucks come around and start getting some long green flag runs in here.
And for the most part, this series has been some really clean racing, a lot of long green flag runs, lots of green flag pit stops. Sometimes, just like any other series, they're going to have some cautions at the start of the race, maybe one in the middle of the race, one at the end of the race, but for the most part, it's been really clean here, and I'm sure these guys will get it figured out. They'll realize that the truck's not the easiest to drive here tonight, and those guys who didn't get a chance to practice as much as they would have liked, and we'll have a clean race here.
Yeah, it's definitely a different beast here at Iowa to get these trucks to turn in these corners. We like to be able to dive in there and sail them off and get back to that throttle as fast as we can, but here today at Iowa, that's just not the case, Curtis.
Now, you really got to back your entry up a lot going into turn 1 to even get any sort of runoff at all, and even to get the runoff, you have to have a lot of throttle control. It's really easy to get the back end to come around, and 3 and 4, it's tight through the entire corner, and you have, like Gary Sexton mentioned on the top of the show here, you have so much wheel into it, and it can just snap loose when you get out onto that straightaway. You still got the wheel cranked to the left, so just trying to keep it off the wall.
Indeed it can, Curtis. I completely agree with you there. Looks like right now our biggest mover in the field is going to be Mark Jackson back there in the 3. Mark started back in 13. He's up to 8. Probably some pit strategy. Probably picked up a couple spots there in that incident as well. But it's good to see some of these guys that started in the back start coming forward. Eric Stanford is in 9th, started 17th. John Paul Arsenal started 15th. He's up to 10th. Ray Richards started 16th, up to 11th. Judd Danielson started 21st, up to 12th. Judd Danielson always seems to find the front every week back there in that Domino's truck. Everybody knows that truck for those bright blue bumpers. I know I certainly do. But before the night's over, I think Judd will be up there. He's just always a guy that seems to adapt to the track as it continues to change. So we'll definitely be looking for him towards the end of the night here.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, I think the that number 85 machine has had a rough last couple of races here in the Denon Fenders Truck Series and 2 DNFs, I think. So hopefully that changes for him here tonight. He's running up inside the top 15 right now, looking to make his way inside the top 10. Just patiently making his way up. We've still got a long ways to go here.
Absolutely, Curtis. And patience is definitely the key tonight to a top 5, perhaps even a win here. We talked about this last week. Race the racetrack, Curtis. And do you agree, is racing the racetrack more important than racing the competition right away here at Iowa?
Yeah, especially on if you get a long green flag run, you really got to worry about the track more than you worry about somebody else. I mean, they're driving it too hard for 10 laps. They're gonna burn their tires a lot faster than you are. So you just got to keep that in the back of your mind. Time everything properly, and just race the racetrack instead of racing somebody else. You gotta do what you gotta do. And sometimes you'll see a lot of slide jobs into turn 3. That's one of the only ways to pass here. But pace car is off, and
we're gonna
jump here.
Yeah, let's do another crank it up. Let's try to get this through without a caution. So fans, turn up your stereo. Enjoy these the next couple of laps.
Tell you what, fans, we always enjoy the new features that we bring to you here at Domino's TYJ. The guys always do an outstanding job. Back up front, looks like James Ross is beginning to pull away once again. Curtis, right now, the guy that I'm watching is Giovanni Bramante. He picked up some real estate there on the restart, working that high line off 3 and 4. He was able to actually get the truck to rotate just a little bit, able to work the high side, so let's move him forward. To round out the top 5, we've got William Davis, and started 7th up to 5th. Our in-race reporter, Gary Sexton, he's starting to make his way to the front.
And right now, Derek Fisher in the 13. He's side by side with the 36 of Michael Fravert, looking to make the pass off of turn 4. You don't see that very often. Derek Fisher makes the pass on the 36 of, I believe that's Michael Fravert, and Vernon Margheim follows him through. He makes the pass as well, and Margheim sets his sights on the 13.
Yeah, Fravert looked like he had a little bit of a problem getting right there through 1 and 2. Looks like that truck's back up to speed right now. Maybe just pushed a little bit right there through the corner. Looks like he's going to have some more competition as the 6 begins to track him down as well as they work off 4.
And David Wright is making his way up too. He's passed a bunch of trucks. He just made his way by James Somke and Jeff T. Martin. He's got a run on Jeremy Crandall now. As he gets a little bit loose up coming off of turn 2, loses all that momentum. We'll see if he can make his way back by Jeff T. Martin. The bottom isn't really the place to be in 3 and 4, and looks like Crandall and Rangers are side by side ahead of them.
Well, the battle I'm watching right now is up here between Blake Griffin and Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson in the 3 starts to pull just a little bit towards the 2. We're back with another
David
caution,
Wright's
Curtis.
around.
Yes, fans, we'll get that replay pulled up here in just a minute. Looks like the 42 of David Wright
42 of David Wright and the 1 truck of James Somke come together there. Just hard to say. I mean, David Wright definitely came down a little bit, but James Somke could have been a lot lower on the track. So that bottom groove is really hard to race on here tonight, so you can't really expect people to go all the way down there. Still about half a truck length that James could have been down there, but David just couldn't gather it back up, gets hit by Jack Watts there, and I think that's the only other truck who got involved.
Well, guys, it's definitely feeding time here at the zoo down pit road. The green light is on, and here come just about everybody, I believe. James Ross is going to lead him down. We'll cover his pit stop when he gets down here.
Do want to remind you fans that you've got less than 50 laps or right at it to get your pick in for the free Domino's Pizza. Again, you can text 919-883-7497 or in the race chat, say I choose this driver, first fan before lap 75. Accurately picking the winner, we'll get the free pizza. Go ahead, guys.
Looks like the 51 is going to be taking 4 tires, 2 cans of Sunoco fuel, just like we thought. Everybody behind him is going to be doing the same thing. The 00 of Gabriel Woods is going to come out second. There may have been a 2-tire gamble there. I'm not sure what truck that is, but we'll have to follow up with that here in just a moment.
I think that was the 97 of Garrett Robinson.
Yeah, I think you're right, Curtis. And if that's the case, man, I tell you what, I think this is a short-term gain, long-term loss, and not a whole lot of return on investment, if you will, because 2 tires here I really don't think is a call right now, but I guess we'll have to wait and see if that 97 can make it work.
Yeah, Garrett Robinson in that autism awareness truck, he's going to, if he can get a run, or get about a 5-lap run here where everybody's going to want to pit again, manage to not fall back to where he was before, I mean, it's a gain for him, right? So, but if we go green flag here, yeah, I definitely think he's going to be a lot slower than some of these other guys when we get about 10-15 laps deep into the run. The tires don't take long to fall off here at all.
No, you're absolutely right, Curtis. These tires, they're good 10 or 12 laps in, and they start fading fast. So, on 2 tires, I'd give him probably 3 or 4 laps before those other tires really start to come to life. And when they do, I really look for that 97 to start fading. It's going to be rather quickly.
See what he can do here. He qualified in 18th, and that move that you guys just saw, 2 tires, gets him up inside the top 5. See if he can hold on to it. And looks like Ivan Garcia might have stayed out to try and lead a lap, and it looks like Jeff T. Martin actually has stayed out. Ivan Garcia did as well. He was hoping to try and lead a lap, didn't get it, decided to come down pit lane. But Jeff T. Martin has stayed out, and James Ross is going to start on the outside here unless Jeff T. Martin elects the outside.
Well, if my memory serves me correctly, Jeff T. Martin came down when he had that self-spin earlier about 10 or 12 laps ago, so we know his tires are already 10 or 12 laps old, so against these new tires, he's not going to stay up there real long, and I always hate to see guys on old tires try to hold off in front of the leaders because there's usually a stack up and cautions kind of occur because of it, but it'll be interesting to see if that 15 is able to maintain its position as well as the speed of the leaders with new tires.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if James Ross can stay side by side with them coming up out of turn 2, Jeff T. Martin's not even going to have the lead by the time they get to the start-finish line the next time. But if he can stay in front of him before they hit turn 3 and not be side by side going into 3, he might have a good shot at leading a couple laps here.
I mean, as fast as James Ross seems like he's been all night in that 51 truck, I'm really not sure that that's the case. He seems like he's been able to go where he wants, and that truck's fast no matter which group he picks. We also know Gabriel Wood back there in the 00 is fast as well. The 97 Garrett Robinson's on that 2-tire strategy, which is going to bring him up to, looks like 4th, and then William Davis is going to round out our top 5. William Davis and the 11 has been super fast all night, so I look for them guys to really dice their way through traffic early, and we'll have to watch those other guys and see how these no tires, 2-tire strategies play off here at Iowa.
Yeah, real quick, guys, the number 97 of Garrett Robinson qualified 18th. He's up to the 4th position. He's in that top shelf diecast. The caution light new Silverado. See what he can do here. It's his first official race. Been a couple trout races, so we'll see what he can do.
Absolutely. We're going to see exactly what he can do here as the 15 takes the green and he's back to the loud pedal. Jeff T. Martin begins to pull aways and followed closely by James Ross and Gabriel Wood. Garrett Robinson is going to be in fourth, and William Davis is in fifth as they race off down the back straightaway.
And James Ross is digging hard on the outside line there, trying to get a nose on Jeff T. Martin. He was right on the back bumper, headed down into turn 3, but Gabriel Wood with the slide job move in 3 and 4, he grabs the lead. Third to first for Gabriel Wood on the restart, and James Ross follows him through.
I'll tell you what, Gabriel Wood and James Ross, those guys are such good drivers. James Ross taking them 3 wide through 3 and 4 right there, slicing and dicing. He knows that he can't let that 00 start pulling away, because if he does, it's going to be hard to track him down. Meanwhile, the 97 starts working the bottom just a little bit, and I'll tell you what, he's making those 2 tires work right now.
And the 97 in the grass. Caution's not going to come out, I don't think.
Yeah, he looks like he...
Garrett Robinson, 2-tire call does not look to be a good one for him as he slides through the grass.
I guess I spoke too soon, Curtis. It looked like he was going to make something, but he just came around real quick right there, working that bottom side like you talked about. It's treacherous right there around the bottom off 4, and he's ultimately paid the price for that.
And Jeff T. Martin and Giovanni Bromanti, and their number 15 and the number 89 of Bromanti is on the bottom there. They're battling hard for that third position. Bromanti gets clear in turns 1 and 2. Jeff T. Martin's going for the crossover. No, he's not. He gives him a little bump going into turn 3. We'll see if he can get a run coming off.
Well, let's move Jeff T. Martin back to 4th and into the sights of William Davis, who's in 5th. That 11th begins to close as they work across the start-finish line and back off into 1. William Davis, remember, guys, he's on that 4-tire strategy, as where the 15's on the 2-tire. He begins to pull right here on the 15 down the back straightaway.
Yeah, we just missed it. Ray Richter in the number 44 had some kind of issues, got into the wall, spun, was able to maintain it. We do stay green.
It looks like all these guys up front, Curtis, are starting to kind of single file race, and they seem like they're kind of settling down here for the long run. This is kind of what we talked about, for the 2-tire strategy. They're going to need to see a caution quick to maintain that position as these tires begin to fall off. But right now, as these guys get single file, I'm not sure you're going to see that.
Yeah, they only side by side. Oh, and Jack Watts, Ray Richer, and the 97 machine of Garrett Robinson get jacked up there. It looks, and Tim Rangers drives on by those 3. So I think Ray Richer might have got tight coming off the corner, or one of those 3 did, and they all bumped each other there. It was like bumper cars front to back. So good thing it was all squared up, or else one of those guys would have went around. But it's like Jack Watts working on making a pass on the number 70 of Tim Rangers. Not quite, actually. He doesn't drive it in quite as deep as I thought. But a lot of these guys are working the bottom a lot more than I figured. And the 97's going around again.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Garrett Robinson, he triggers the caution this time.
Yeah, Garrett Robinson is a rookie. He's getting new here to Domino's TYJ and how these guys race. And, I'm sure he's going to get it right. Unfortunately, today has not been a good day for the 97. We hate to see him bring out a caution like that. Curtis, you see if anybody else was involved?
Yeah, I was watching them, and nobody else was involved. He I think he thought he was going to maybe hit the wall that time in the inside, so he just cranked it back up, kind of backed up the track a little bit. But
yeah, I'll be looking for the Domino's TYJ officials will probably move him toward the tail end of the longest line. And he'll just reset. Yeah, I'm sure he'll go ahead and go grab his 4 tires once he gets back there. But, this is just a learning experience for these new guys. We've got a lot of veterans out there that have been racing with each other all season long, and the new guy wants to come in and make sure that everything he does is correct. He's probably kind of nervous, but I'm sure the 97 will find a handle on things here and kind of settle down throughout the rest of the race.
Yes, sir. And on that note, guys and fans, we're going to take our first quick commercial break. You are watching the atopgamers.com 150 live on All Pro Broadcast, and make sure you click that subscribe button so you get the alerts. Fans, we'll be back in just a minute.
0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Welcome back. Go ahead, Joe.
And we're back here, fans at Iowa Speedway. Looks like a lot of these guys that are involved in this caution have come down. They're starting to work on their trucks. I'm hearing across the team communications. Looks like Ray Richards is going to be on pit road for a moment. Looks like he's got about 6.5, 7 minutes worth of damage, Robert. Back up front, looks like we remain unchanged. James Ross in the 51 and Gabriel Wood in the 00 are going to be back up there in row 1. Robert, were you able to kind of determine what happened back there?
Yeah, it looked like a self-spin on the 97. While we got a real quick second, let's talk to Ray. Ray Richard, I understand you got some damage. What happened there?
Yeah, all I seen, I let Judd come up in front of me there. I let him, he had the position, and next thing you know, all I see is the back end of his truck wiggle, and he kind of backed off, and I just missed him, missed the 4, realized the sparks were flying out the 4 after the Judd moved out of my way, and I gathered it up, just lost the tail end and hit the inside wall.
Yes, sir. Hopefully those repairs get done quick and you get back out there. Thanks, Ray.
Appreciate it, guys.
Back up front, looks like we're going to be resetting the field here at Iowa. The pace car, those lights have come off again. Curtis, why don't you bring us back to green?
That pace car's off, and James Ross leading us to the green flag for about the 3rd or 4th time tonight, and as he has all night, he gets a good jump on everybody else. Gabriel Wood holds on to that 2nd position as William Davis can't really get the jump that he wants on the restart, but he pulls it side by side coming off of turn 2, and Romanti looks like he might want to try and make it 3 wide there, but he's not going to do that. And one thing to note actually on that, while we were under caution there, the 73 of Jeremy Crandall stayed out, got an extra bonus point for leading a lap, so that's always something to keep a note of as the season progresses. Jeremy's one of those guys who's probably got more than just that 1 point tonight from doing that, so he's going to add up at the end of the season, and see how much that ends up helping him. But the battle up front is going to be James Ross and Gabriel Wood again. It looks like Wood actually gets tight a little bit coming off of turn 2 there, or sorry, turn 4, and behind them Romanti and William Davis are going at it hard again. Right now Davis is holding on strong to that 3rd position.
That's the battle I'm watching here as well, Curtis. Romani seems like he likes to work that middle lane, about a half a groove lower than the 11 that's running up to the high side, but William Davis is able to keep that speed wound up as he works his way off. The guy that I'm watching also back there is Gary Sexton back there in that Hex Camo Silverado. He keeps making his way a little bit closer, inching closer and closer. We know that Gary Sexton takes care of his stuff. We know he gets here early for practice as well. It always shows when he gets up there and he starts racing. The 89 and the 11, they keep racing hard like they are. That 17 is going to find himself going around both of them really fast. So Gary Sexton, I think, is going to be up there before the night's over, Curtis.
Jeremy Crandall is making an outside pass on Michael Fravor right now, and he was right on the back bumper of James Somke, and he looks a little bit faster, just not able to find the line by right now with the 36 of Michael Fravor side by side with him. So Jeremy Crandall just led a lap, and if he can get a decent finish here tonight, it's always good to get a bonus point. So see if he can make his way up inside the top 10. He qualified, didn't even take a qualifying time, actually rolled off in 31st. He did 21st fastest time in practice, so not the fastest, but like I said, those bonus points do add up.
You're absolutely right, Curtis. They sure do. The guy that I'm watching right now, Curtis, is going to be Judd Danielson. You know, we talked about him earlier in the race, and I guess we jinxed him again. Looks like Judd Danielson is going to be the first car a lap down. The next closest to him is Ray Richard back 5 laps down. So if we do get a caution, looks like Judd Danielson will get lucky dog. He's got a little bit of front end damage from that incident earlier, but we know that if there's anybody that can come back from an incident like that and have a good finish, top 10, top 15, it's definitely that 85 Domino's TYJ Silverado. So we'll keep an eye on him throughout the night and see how he adjusts.
And I was just watching the number 98 of Andrew Kessler there, seeing what he's got left for a truck, and I must say it's not much. It's quite the dog, as he made the pass on Ivan Garcia last time by, and Garcia just got the run on him that last time by. I think his truck is just so low on horsepower. He can roll through the corners just as good, but the power down the straightaways is just not there. So count that number 98 machine of Andrew Kessler out tonight, and if we go green flag for a long period of time, wouldn't be surprised to see him go a lap down, and so unfortunately it's not going to be 2 in a row for that number 98.
Yeah, but you know, the important thing to remember with Andrew Kessler is he does have that win, Curtis. That definitely locks him in the chase. He came in the night 4th in points, so we always hate to see these guys. Looks like we got a spin almost here by the 11 of William Davis. Looks like the agent out of Giovanni Bramante gets into him. He's going to get it collected, gather it back up, and back up to speed. He's definitely off the pace, though, there for a moment. Going to lose a ton of spots.
Looks like Bramante might have got a tiny bit of front end damage off that, too. Nothing major, but enough that you can see it anyway. He's also got his tailgates pushed in pretty far on the right side as well, so see if Bramante's truck holds up strong for the rest of the night here, but for the time being he's running in 3rd and doesn't look like he's falling back any.
Now, Curtis, is that a case of the Kronhorn? Hey, I followed you too much and I can't get around you, I just need to move you? I mean, is that something maybe we saw there, or was that just a slip up by the 11?
I didn't see exactly what it was, but I mean, Gio, he's a smart driver. I think he's only 13 or 14 years old, but he's a development driver for David Gilliland Racing, so obviously he's got some skill, and I'm sure sometimes he makes decisions that even he regrets after the race, but he's learning, and that's the point. I don't think he really moved the 11 intentionally there, but that's maybe what happened, and he's got a little bit of damage on his truck, but like I said, we're at a short track here tonight, and that shouldn't hurt him too much.
Well, it looks like that what we talked about earlier, it seems like people are starting to settle in just a little bit. We're going to give you a quick run through the top 10. Up front, no surprise, the 51 of James Ross. He started first. Right now he's still rolling up in first. Gabriel Wood qualified in 4th. He's going to find himself in 2nd. Giovanni Bramante, he's qualified 3rd and finds himself there. Gary Sexton up 3 spots from his qualifying spot of 7th and 4th. We got Blake Griffith, who started at 6th. He's going to round out the top 5. Eric Stanford, our big mover of the night, started 17th. He's up to 6th. Mark Jackson is going to be up to 7th. William Davis, he's up to 8th. Tyler Chalk finds himself up to 9th after qualifying 23rd. And then John Paul Arsenal, he started back in 15th. He's going to round out the top 10. So it looks like a lot of comers and goers, Curtis, guys that we didn't really think we'd see up front right away have started making their way to the front. And some of the guys that we thought would have a chance for the win tonight are nowhere to be found. So another crazy night of Domino's TYJ racing, but you know, this is why we love what this league has. So it's definitely good to see these guys get after it each and every week.
Yeah, real quick, I want to remind the fans you've got 15 laps to get your pick in for the free large 3-topping Domino's pizza. Basically, fans, all you have to do is text 919-883-7497. Or if you're watching on your device in the live chat, say, I choose this driver to win. The first fan to accurately predict the winner of this race before lap 75, you will win a free large 3-topping pizza, carry out only. You have to go to the store. We do not deliver them in these trucks. Any city, any store in the United States of America.
Robert, while you're talking about that, looks like we got a Mark Jackson fan that's watching live tonight. She said that she went ahead and texted you before the race ever started that she was going to be rolling with that 3 truck. So we know that Mark Jackson's got some fans out there. You know, the guys that me and Curtis talked about, seems like we'd be doing pretty well if we could actually qualify to win one of these pizzas that everybody seems like they just can't wait to get a hold of. And fans, once again, all you've got to do is text your pick to 919-883-7497. And if you accurately predict the winner of the race tonight before lap 75, you get one free carry-out only, 3-topping large Domino's pizza anywhere in the United States. So, hey, what other league does that, folks? I mean, I think it's just us here at Domino's TYJ. So make sure you get those picks in.
Yeah, real quick, talking about Mark Jackson, that was his fiance picking him. She picks him every single race. Mark Jackson, a real quick Domino's driver profile. Will we have a second? He's in that famous number 3 Chevy Silverado. Mark is from Wichita, Kansas. His sponsors are Over the Top Paints. That's what's on the truck tonight. Also, PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. He's been racing in sim for 17 years. He's done some real racing and local street class bracket racing. He does have 40 wins and 772 starts on iRacing, 200 top 5s. He would like to give special thanks to John Hendrick, who does these amazing paint jobs on Over the Top Paints. We got a lot of great talented painters in our league that paint up our trucks, our Xfinity cars, our Cup cars. Matter of fact, Joe Johnson with iWraps is one of the best out there as well. Also, Mark would like to thank his fiancee, Kristen Phillips, and Southeast Motorsports.
We certainly appreciate that, Robert. We certainly appreciate those fans of Mark Jackson. You're exactly right. Mark Jackson seems like he's always up there every week, always competitive in that 3 truck. And, that's such a great number. Dale Sr. drove it, and we're all big fans of it. It's always good to see it on the racetrack. We do appreciate the shout out there to iWraps as well. Folks, you can check us out at www.facebook.com/iWraps for all your sim racing painting needs. Thank you, Robert.
And it looks like out front, James Ross has ran away to a 1.7 second lead over the double zero of Gabriel Wood. We've been green flag for about, trying to figure it out here, about 30 laps, I do believe.
That is correct. Yeah, they've, Curtis, you're exactly right. They've definitely been starting to get some green flag laps in. Seems like everybody's kind of settled down. They kind of found that groove that you talked about earlier. Curtis, when we start to get into these green flag runs, I know that you're the champion from last season, the Den and Fenders Truck Series. What are some of the things that you have to take into account on these long green flag runs?
I mean, for the most part, you just got to worry about tires, and you got to know exactly how long you can go on fuel. That's one of my personal issues I've been having this year, is I haven't been preparing myself enough, and just you really got to know what you have, what the track offers, and what you have for fuel, what you have for tires, and that's just the key to a long run, is just knowing exactly what you have and when to use it. So,
well, I'll tell you what, Mark Jackson knows what he has and knows when to use it. He just gave it to a shot. Looks like the 2 is going to be falling back just a couple positions. I think that's Blake Griffith back there in that Silverado. Looks like he's going to be able to gather it back up. Not a lot of damage. And the 3 begins to pull away. So we'll keep an eye on those 2 as they get closer back towards the end. Looks like we got a spin. Looks like the 97 again.
Garrett Robinson makes his way to pit road that time. Doesn't trigger the caution, but he does spin again. We'll see if he makes his way back out on the track.
Yeah, the 97, I'll tell you what, he's had a tough night here. With that damage, I'm not real sure that he's going to be able to come back, Curtis. So not the night that 97 wanted to have as his first night here in the league, but, I'm sure he'll get things figured out, and we'll see him back.
Yeah, he got a lot of valuable experience tonight, and actually he was up running 4th or 5th at some point in the race, so I'm really impressed with his outing.
Absolutely, Robert. And like we talked about, I remember when I started the Domino's TYJ series, you come in, you've done really great in iRacing, in your class and stuff like that, but when you start getting into a league and these guys have been racing with each other for a long time, you realize exactly how good the competition here is at iRacing. So we definitely look for the 97 to come back, and we know who's going to be competitive in the long run.
So now that we've been green flag for about 30 laps or so, these guys can probably go about, I'm not sure exactly. I'm going to guess they can go about 60 to 75 laps on a tank of gas. So they're closing in on their fuel window. They could make it, and if they pit within the next 5 laps, probably they could make it any time. So it's going to be interesting to see if some of these guys want to pit just once more and try and run 75 laps on these tires. They'll be absolutely trashed by then. Or if they'll split it up about 37 laps apiece and try and do it that way. So it's just going to be, I'm not sure who's going to pit when. They can pretty much pit any time now and make it to the end. So
Curtis, I just got done talking to James Ross's crew chief. Looks like the fuel run tonight is about 60 laps, and you're exactly right. If they pit here in the next 5 or so laps, they can certainly make it on one stop. But like you said, at the end of that run, their tires are just going to be so bad. You know, they're probably going to be giving up time to guys that decided to stay out a little bit longer and pit later. What would you do, Curtis, in this situation?
I'm not sure. Tire fall off looks to be about a second right now, and maybe a second and a half. So I would probably honestly just try and stretch it on this run here as far as we can go. Go to lap 90 if you can, at least. If it's the 60 lap run, at least go to lap 90, maybe lap 100, then pit, stay out the rest of the time. You never know when somebody's gonna, the truck is really unstable tonight. You never know, somebody's gonna loop it and trigger a caution in the middle of the cycle and just throw everything off. So that minimizes your chances of getting caught a lap down anyway. That's what I'd be doing.
Well, it looks like we're lap 78. Looks like we're past that lap 75 cutoff window. And Robert, I gotta ask, did anybody pick the 51 truck tonight of James Ross to win the race?
Oh, I'm gonna have to do some detailed research. I usually do right after the checkered flag. I do have a lot of picks here tonight. And the answer to your question is yes, we do have someone who picked James Ross. I'll give that information out, the details, as far as the name of the person, which I will actually have to get from the person. All I got is their phone number right now, and I've also got to go back and look at the time they picked and then look at the chat and make sure nobody else in the chat also picked him earlier. But yeah, we do have somebody who picked him.
I had to put you on the spot there, Robert. I do apologize.
Hey, no problem.
We'd love to see people engage with our drivers here at Domino's TYJ, and engaging James Ross is here at Iowa Speedway. He's out to a 2.7 second lead now over Gabriel Wood. Curtis, I'm not sure if James Ross isn't just going to ride for a while until he has to pit. He's going to grab those tires, and if this thing stays green, he's just going to keep doing what he's doing right now, because he's definitely in command of this race, putting on a clinic here at Iowa Speedway tonight. That 51 is definitely the truck to beat, and I'm not real sure anybody has anything for him at this exact moment.
Yeah, did anybody see the 21 of JP Arsenal just spin it? Coming on pit road, right before pit road, he spun it all the way around 3 times. He did bring it down pit road. We do stay green. That was coming off of, looks like, turn number 2.
Robert, I'm down here in the pit now, and he's got a lot of front end damage on the Chevy Silverado, that 21. Looks like he's going to be taking 4 tires and 2 cans of Sunoco fuel. I'm not real sure how long he's going to be here to fix the damage, but that front end is definitely mangled, so the 21 is definitely going to be slower as the night progresses.
And he was having a good run earlier in the race. That's a shame to see.
It's just the it's the pressure that these guys are dealing with here. As far as racing, they expect perfection every lap, and that's what they try to adhere to. And they know one mistake can cost them a race. And right now, it's like Judd Danielson. I'm watching him look like he's going to go another lap down to the 51 of James Ross. So we're going to move Judd Danielson back. I think it's 2 laps down now, and that's more than likely going to put him out of contention for the race here tonight. So another night of bad luck for the 85. Hopefully he'll be able to get everything righted and get back into it here real soon.
And looks like the leader, James Ross, working on lap traffic right now, makes his way by Judd Danielson and the number 6 of Gerald Campbell. Puts those 2 a lap down, and looks like Campbell will be the first truck a lap down right now. He'll be hoping for a caution.
Yeah, absolutely. I know when you go a lap down to the leaders and he's getting smaller and smaller in front of you, you're out there praying for a caution, and that's exactly what Joe Campbell's doing right now. Is he'll take anything to bring out that yellow. Looks like we've got about 16 trucks on the lead lap. The next car that the leader's going to be catching is going to be Jeremy Crandall, who's about 20 seconds behind the pace. So James Ross is definitely picking him up and putting him down here at Iowa Speedway. He's turning a lot of fast laps, even on old tires. So I'm guessing he's doing some pretty good job of managing that rubber up under that truck, Curtis.
Yeah, James is actually still only fallen off about a second from his fastest time of the race. So he's doing a good job. A lot of these other guys are down second and a half, and I think Gerald Campbell just got to the wall.
Gerald Campbell looks like he's going to be slow off the back straightaway as he pulls that 6 down below the apron. No caution as of yet. He's working the way between 3 and 4. Got a lot of damage on that front end of that 6 truck. Looks like he's headed to pit road, Curtis.
Yeah, it looks like the engine let loose on that 6 truck from that damage from earlier. And guys, it would not surprise me if some of these other drivers who have front end damage lose an engine before this race is over.
Yeah,
that's
Robert,
unfortunate.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
what happened, actually. I just went back and looked at the replay and went up in a cloud of smoke, and he pulled it down onto the apron. He's now coasting down pit lane, not even sure if he's going to be able to make it to the aid of his pit crew.
Back in second, the truck I'm watching right now is going to be Gabriel Wood. He's 4.36 seconds off the pace. Doesn't look like he's got a whole lot of challengers up there right now. Giovanni Bramani still in third, 5.8 seconds back, and Gary Sexton's almost 8 seconds back in fourth. Eric Stanford's in fifth, and he's almost 9 seconds back, Curtis. So right now, like you said, James Ross is picking him up, putting him down. He's going to play some pit strategy here later in the race, but right now he's not under a lot of pressure at all. So 51's just going to maintain what he's doing, and he's doing it quite well. What do you say, Curtis?
Yeah, definitely. He's out to a 4.5 second lead, and all he needs to do is pretty much keep those guys in his rear view mirror. Have an idea of when they're pitting, not get short pitted too badly, and just try and get back out there in front of them as well. If not, he's going to have newer tires and probably going to be able to make his way around them with the gap that these guys are going to have to.
All right, man, caution is out.
And caution is out.
And that changes everything.
Looks like the 70 of Tim Rangers goes around out of turn 2, and Chad Payne hits him.
Yeah, fans, we'll get the replay pulled up here in just a second. It does look like the 70 of Tim Rangers is in the corner there. He's got the 89 of Gio Bramante. They get together right there in the middle of the corner. The 70 of Tim Rangers goes around, collects the Office HQ Chad Payne number 9 truck. Unfortunate for both those guys. I see smoke coming out of the hood of the 70 of Tim Rangers. His night will be over.
Yeah, it looked like Bromanti was just trying to make his way by the number 70 of Tim Ranger's lap truck, and I'm not sure. Again, it's really hard to call at Iowa here tonight. A lot of these guys aren't really making it easy. They're not really clearly one of them coming down on another. They're kind of coming together, and it's just a product of the track temperatures right now. The bottom lane is really loose, and it's hard to use, and a lot of these guys are used to being able to use that as a race crew.
Tell you what, that 89 really is, it really got some damage on the front end right there, Curtis. It'll be interesting to see if that comes into play later on today's race. With the way that these guys have been running hot and motors have been expiring. I know he got into someone earlier as well. I think it was the 11. So you're interested to see if that 89 starts to see some of the effects of these incidents throughout the night.
Looks like Gio Bromanti's grabbed the second spot, actually, coming off pit road there. Beats the number, actually no he didn't, Gabriel Wood. Yeah, he did beat Gabriel Wood off pit road. But yeah, Gio has had that damage for quite a while. I'm sure as you would have been noticing some oil temp or water temperature overheating ratings there on that long run if you had any sort of issues. So I'm sure that.
Curtis, I'm listening to race control right now, and we have an interesting thing here at Domino's TYJ where drivers are allowed to claim their caution. In the event of them claiming their caution, they're sent to the longest end of the line. And right now, it looks like they're trying to get this thing settled. It'll be definitely interesting to see what Domino's TYJ race control deems as the cause of this latest caution, and if there'll be any penalties for any of the trucks involved.
Yeah, the rule is if you claim it, you go to the end of the longest line and you'll be done with it. If not, there could be no further penalty if it's bad enough. But yeah, that was 2 trucks that weren't even on the same lap getting involved with each other, and yeah, you could say the 89 just kind of drove through them, but 70 wasn't on the lead lap, so it's I don't know, it's kind of hard to call there. They kind of came together in a weird spot. And
well, you know, I'm glad I'm not down there to call this, Curtis, but if it were me and I were calling it, the way I saw it was the 89 did kind of come up into the lap traffic. Looked like the truck that he got into, I believe it was the 70, kind of held his line. But, you know, I'm kind of glad that it's not my decision to make this call, and we put it all on Domino's TYJ Race Control. So we'll continue to monitor the channel and see what the outcome is, and we'll update the fans at home.
so you guys definitely got a good look at that replay. We'll let you guys decide for yourself, but lights should be off on the pace car this time. These guys are already doubled up. They're pretty much ready to go. Looking for your biggest movers thus far, and I'm looking at the number 24 of Eric Stanford. I haven't really talked about him tonight. I was watching him battle hard with a couple trucks earlier. The number 2 of Blake Griffith, and Eric has made his way up to the 6th spot tonight, and Tyler Chalk in the 07 machine has made his way up to 7th, qualified in 23rd. So those guys are moving up. Ralph Vandervorst actually started in the 26th position, did not take a qualifying time. Jack Watts started right in front of him in the 25th position, didn't take a qualifying time, and they're up to the 10th and 11th spot.
Well, as of right now, Curtis, looks like Race Control is going to call that a racing incident. I don't see of anybody being penalized. The lights are off top. The pace car fans, we're working lap 95. James Ross, who's been out front all night long, is going to be bringing them back to green. To his outside, Giovanni Bramante, followed by Gabriel Wood, William Davis, and Gary Sexton. There's the green flag, and we are back in racing here at Iowa Speedway.
And nobody has been able to match James Ross's restart speed here. Nobody can get going at the exact same time he can, and he's just tricking them every restart. But Gio Bromanti holds on to that 2nd spot there.
Yeah,
Gabriel Wood trying to work the inside in 3 and 4 there, seeing if he can get a run off. Not going to work this time. Looks like William Davis gaining a little bit on Wood there as they head down the front stretch.
Now let's remember that William Davis and the 89 of Giovanni Bramante got into a little bit of an incident earlier, and you know, we don't encourage anything like that here at Domino's TYJ, but it's always interesting to see drivers that had a earlier incident start getting near each other again towards the end of the race, how they race each other harder, or how they'll give each other distance as well based on what they need. Eric Stanford looks like he's doing pretty well back there. He's going to be in the number 5, in the 5th position. Gary Sexton looked like he lost a spot there on the restart, and he's back to 6th. Up front, looks like everybody's single file, Curtis.
And Gabriel Wood is still working hard to get by Giovanni Bromanti there, Gio's number 89, but just can't find the line around him. He definitely looks a little bit faster. He's looking to the inside this time, heading down to turn 1. He's going to throw the dive bomb in there, and he backs it off. Nobody's really using that bottom lane. It's the only place Gabriel really had to go there, and I think he's going to have to get the run off of turn 2 and try and stick it to his outside if he can.
Oh, here comes that 00, Curtis. Gabriel Wood. He's trying to work that inside off of 3 and 4. You can definitely tell that business is starting picking up. He's got a quarter panel on the 89 as they race off into 1.
Yeah, the 89 is pushing him all the way down to the yellow line. The 00 gets into Bromanti, and Bromanti goes around on the backstretch. Caution is out.
And we talked about it. Business is picking up. You know, we saw that live right there. The 00 and the 89 are going to get together working off of 2. Looks like they were just racing hard. The 00 got a fender in on the 89 and around the 89 went. Doesn't look like there's too much damage to Gio's truck, but it'll be interesting to see what Race Control deems here is the necessary call.
Yeah, and in my opinion there, the I don't know, like I said, the bottom lane is so slick that you can't really push somebody all the way down to that yellow line like that, and that's what Bromanti did on the number 00 of Gabriel Wood, just forced him all the way down into that really slick stuff. hard to hold it down there, and Gabriel Wood just barely even moved up. I don't even, that one, I don't know. So another close call, but I think the 89 probably shouldn't have forced him all the way down to the yellow line there. It looks like everybody's coming down pit lane.
Definitely looks like all of our leaders are hitting pit road right now. I'm still watching this replay. There's a lot of on the driver channels right now. The scanner that I've got up here with us, a lot of people are unhappy, and I tell you what, Curtis, it's just a product of this tough racing.
It looks like quite a few trucks actually stay out here. Actually, James Ross, Mark Jackson, Blake Griffith, 13 of Derek Fisher, Ivan Garcia, Chad Payne, and Gio Bromanti. They all stay out.
All right, so it looks like Gabriel Wood is going to be claiming that caution in the 00. So if that's the case, in the 00, be going to the tail end of the longest line, and that'll be done with that caution. And you're exactly right, Curtis. Definitely some guys that are staying out. Up front, looks like James Ross, Mark Jackson back here. The 3 is going to be there. Blake Griffin, he had an incident earlier. He's up there. The 72 truck of Ivan Garcia is going to be 4th. And then the 89 who just spun, looks like he's going to be back up there in 5th. So not a whole lot of damage or problems for Gio back there in his truck. I guess, it's interesting to see how long these guys are going to stay out now on these old tires, Curtis.
I think they can, I'm not sure if they can make it the rest of the way. Did they get another pit or another caution since lap 40? Is this their first one?
This is our first one. I don't think they can make it on fuel.
Yeah, I definitely don't think they can make it on fuel either then. And be interesting to see if Gabriel Wood can make his way back up to the front. He's going to be restarting in 17th, I do believe, here when he makes his way to the end of the longest line. And James Ross is out there on way older tires than William Davis, Jeff T. Martin, Gary Sexton, and all those guys. So we'll see if we have a new leader here within a few laps. It's going to be hard for James Ross to hold these guys off, and if we don't go green, he's going to be pretty much screwed.
Yeah, I don't really understand the call from James Ross, but he has been up front all night, so maybe he knows something that we don't know, Curtis. But I tend to agree with you. I think the 51 has definitely needed to stop and get some tires while he had the chance, and I think he's probably going to pay the price here shortly.
And looks like, trying to see who the first truck off of pit lane, I think that's going to be William Davis. So William Davis will line up 5th behind James Ross, Mark Jackson, Blake Griffith, and Giovanni Bromanti on about 60 lap old tires, I do believe.
Listen, looks like race control is telling the drivers that if they're not going to be lined up nose to tail under the next start, that there's a possibility that some of the drivers will be black flags. So be interesting to see if these guys are trying to lay back and trying to get a little bit of speed, a couple spots on these restarts. That's definitely not tolerated here in Domino's TYJ, and they always do a great job of addressing it. So, I know that race control works hard every race, and they want to give the fans the best show they possibly can, so they make sure that all these drivers understand what's expected of them, and it's always good to see them stay on top of it.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. And did want to remind the fans one more time that you are watching the atopgamers.com 150, atopgamers.com, top servers for top players. We appreciate them coming on board for quite a few races this year. And make sure you click the subscribe button on All Pro Broadcasting Fans so you get the alert for every race we have. So you get your chance to win the free pizza. I'll let you guys take this restart.
Well, the lights are off atop the pace car here as they work through 4. It's going to be our leader, James Ross. He's going to be coming back to the start-finish line with Mark Jackson his outside, followed by Blake Griffin and Gio Romane. The green flag is back out, and James Ross back on the loud pedal as he begins to pull away from Mark Jackson back there in the 3. But again, remember, guys, that he's got old tires now, and the guys behind him are on some fresh ones, so it'd be interesting to see if he's able to pull away this time like he has in the past.
Yeah, and I don't know if these guys got a pit stop in before the caution came out and made their way back onto the lead lap, but Looks like they might have, by the way they're staying up there right now. So, but one thing to note is when that last caution came out, Ray Richard came into the pits with an expired motor, so his night is over, and one of a few here tonight.
Yeah, I always hate to see that. My good buddy Ray Richard, he's a great guy, great racer. So we always hate to see these guys nights end early, and I'm sure we'll see old Ray back in the Truck Series next week, or excuse me, 2 weeks, and I'm sure he'll be doing what he does best, back out there racing hard. Looks like another caution, Curtis.
And it's Gary Sexton. He goes for a wild ride in turns 1 and 2, but it looked, he almost made it. Looked like he almost made it through without getting tagged, and at the last second, Jeremy Crandall puts it absolutely sideways, just misses him, and Ralph Vandervorst clips him.
Yes. As we pull up the replay there, it does look like the 36. It looks like that would be Michael Fravor. Just barely gets into the back of the 17. Obviously, it's 2 different braking zones for different drivers based on how they have their brake bias set up, and it definitely spun the 17 all the way around.
Yeah, it definitely looks like the 17 had a little bit of help right there as he got into 1 and 2. The 36 looked like he just got into the back, like my good friend Robert was saying. We hate to see that for Gary. He's been having a solid night all night long. This is definitely not how he wanted to find himself towards the end of this race, but that's just part of it. That's how the racing goes here. So we'll have to see if Gary Sexton can get in there, get that damage fixed, and get back up to the front.
And on this note, we are going to take our final real quick commercial break, fans. You are watching the atopgamers.com 150 on All Pro Broadcasting. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with the results from pit stops, and we're going to have our final feature of Crank It Up. You do not want to miss that. We'll be right back, fans.
When you're ready, help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never happened.
Green flag, green flag.
All right, fans, welcome back. We're going to do our Crank It Up segment one more time. Turn up all your speakers and enjoy these next couple 3 laps. Fans, thank you so much. Joe and Curtis, what are you seeing up front?
Well, up front right now, I'll tell you what, Mark Jackson has got his mirror now to his left full of William Davis in the 11. William Davis has been tracking the 3 down for the last couple of laps. We've also got some company in Eric Stanford out there in the 24, that Toyota. He's been working the high side. Got a 3-way battle for the lead, but look out. Back there in fourth, looks like James Ross is coming. We know that 51 super fast, but as the laps begin to wind down here, we know these drivers really get after it. So we'll be interested to see if he can make his way through this traffic and keep all the fenders on it. Curtis?
Oh, James Ross gets in the back, and Eric Stanford. Stanford got loose there coming off of turn 2. It'll be interesting to see if those guys, that damage is going to hurt either of those 2 guys.
And that gives Mark Jackson an opportunity to get away for a few more positions. He's got about a 6-8 car gap now to second place.
Well, fans, I tell you what, if you throw a blanket over the 24, the 11, the 00, the 89, and the 51, you could cover all 5 of them, and it looks like almost like a mini Talladega on the back straightaway here. Everybody's close. Everybody's beginning to race harder and harder. The 51, he wants to go, but Curtis, right now, there's just nowhere to put that truck.
That's really hard to pass here. It's pretty much you want to try and pass on the. You got to wreck it in turn 1. It looks like the 24 of Eric Stanford and the 11 of William Davis. They'll keep it straight. We'll stay green flag here, but I didn't see exactly what happened. It looks like the 11 and the.
I think the 11 had I think the 11 had just a little bit of help, not a whole lot. And then I'm not sure what happened to the 24 either, but it's amazing these guys were able to keep these trucks straight. No caution comes out. Up front, looks like Mark Jackson has got a 1.3 second lead on Gabriel Wood. James Ross 2 seconds back. Gio 2.7 seconds back. And Blake Griffith all the way 3 seconds back. Curtis, can Mark Jackson win this thing?
Yeah, he can definitely win this thing. It's real hard to pass here unless you have a lot better tires or unless you're just straight up a lot faster. So James Ross, he's only made his way up from he's made his way up to 3rd now from 7th spot, but yeah, it's 1.7 seconds back. That's a lot of time to make up.
Oh, then 00's into the wall. He's going to scrape. Here comes the 51. He dives to the inside. He's going to pick up that position as they race off into 1 and 2. Looks like the 00. Oh, he's sideways. He saves it. Guys, they are getting after it. Gabriel Wood with the save of the night. We stay green here at Iowa. And James Ross in that 51. He's going to try to track down Mark Jackson now. Mark Jackson's got a 1.5 second lead with about 25 laps to go. I still think the 51's got time to catch him, Curtis.
he's definitely got time to catch him. 25 laps is quite a while here at Iowa, especially when these tires start to wear. So see if Mark can hold it up there. Like I said earlier, he's always up there. Usually doesn't qualify inside the top 10, usually by his own choice. So not really surprised to see him up there, and wouldn't be surprised if he held on to the win tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, James Ross just knocked off 0.3 of a second. The interval now is 1.3 seconds, so that 51 is definitely reeling in Mark Jackson in the 3. We know James Ross has been the truck to beat all night long in that Jegs Tundra, and he's definitely making that high line work right now. Looks like he's going to be catching Mark Jackson again as they come back to the stripe. The interval now is going to go from 1.3 down to almost a second flat, so the 51's definitely getting bigger in the 3's mirror.
And James Ross is looking for his 6th win of the season. Mark Jackson looking for his 3rd. So both of these guys multi-time winners, and they both know how to get it done. It's just going to come down to who knows how to save their tires better and who's better at this track, really.
Well, Chris, I know that we've both been across that finish line first, and no matter how many times you win, you want to win some more. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I know there was one race a couple weeks ago where James Ross led a whole bunch of laps and circumstances just didn't fall his way. He ended up in 2nd or 3rd place, and he was honestly really disappointed that he wasn't able to bring home the win, even though he already had 4 or 5 wins on the year. So it doesn't matter how many you get, you always want to come out and win it.
Yeah, the 51 continues to track down the 3. The interval's now down to 0.4 of a second. So, folks, this right here is going to be your battle for the lead. More than likely, your battle for the win as well. Mark Jackson and James Ross are going to go at it here as they come down the front straightaway. That 51 is going to have about a car and a half distance to the 3. Mark Jackson looks like he's going to work the bottom line. But the 51 just rotates that corner so well. He's able to get back on the gas, close the distance. And Curtis, is he just kind of content to ride there, or is he ready to go ahead and take it off?
I think he might wait for a few laps, see if Jackson makes a mistake, and see if he can just capitalize there, as he's getting the run as we speak, coming off of turn 4, so he's making me eat my words. And we'll see if he can pull the slide job into turn 1 here. He is able to do that, so we'll see if he can pull up in front of Mark Jackson, cut off his run. Mark Jackson's probably going to go for the crossover. Mark Jackson can't get the run off, so put James Ross to the top of the board and see if he sets sail now.
Yeah, I tell you what, James Ross has been so good tonight. Even with that bit of front-end damage that he's got on that Tundra, he has made that Jags.com Tundra work all night long so well. He's taking care of his tires. He's already out to a 0.2 of a second lead on Mark Jackson. I look for James Ross to really start pulling away as the laps begin winding down here at Iowa. We're going to be coming back to lap 133 of 150 at the stripe.
You got 15 to go here.
Yeah, I was going to say a couple other players up front here that are having pretty good runs. Obviously, Mark Jackson started 13th. He's up to 2nd in that over-the-top paints. Domino's Chevy Silverado. Also got Tyler Chalk. Haven't talked much about him at all tonight. He's in that 07. He started 23rd. He's all the way up to 7th position. Looks like he is driving that RJ Race Cars Incorporated Toyota Tundra. He's having a great run. He always has a good run. Sometimes gets caught up in things, but he's having a good run and put safely in the top 10. Also, William Locklear. He's in that Valvoline Walmart Nationwide Chevy Silverado. He's got damage on the back. He's got damage on the right side in that number 4 Chevy Silverado. But he is maintaining the top 10 run right here in 8th position, exactly where he started. He was up as high as 5th or 6th. But like I said, got in the wall just a minute ago. Good for William. Will Davis in that number 11. He is in that the Beast Owens Well Service Chevy Silverado. Cross Continent Racing. That number 11 looks like he's up in 9th position. And don't look now, Vernon Margam in that 33 GTR Toyota Tundra. He's up to the 10th position here. Hopefully he can hold out for a top 10 finish.
Well, you talked about Tyler Chalk, and looking at the points here as we came in tonight, Tyler Chalk was in 6th.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Looks like we got a caution on the race right there, guys.
Yeah, we were just talking about the 33 of Vernon Margheim.
Yeah, you hate to see that, Rob. He was having a good night, and that's one of the things that happens. You know, you start getting into rhythm, and you think everything's fine. All of a sudden, that truck snaps out from under you. You get caught up somewhere, and we hate to see that for him.
Yeah, fans, it definitely looks like a bit of contact. Looks like the number 11 of Will Davis is trying to make that pass. And the two trucks just get together going for the exact same part of the track.
We're going to have another, see what these guys do down pit lane here. I'm sure if anybody comes down the front, that's going to pull a lot of guys down, and some guys are going to stay out. It looks like James Ross, is he going to drag them all down pit lane? Looks like we're going to have some comers and goers here. Jeremy Crandall is staying out. Jeremy Crandall and Jack Watts, as well as Chad Bean, are the only three that are going to stay out here, as well as the 85 of Judd Danielson. It looks like all those guys are lapped down, actually. Actually, the 73 of Jeremy Crandall and Jack Watts are still on the lead lap, so he'll inherit the front row.
Yeah, I still don't think that's enough, Curtis. I think that with these new tires that unless they get a caution right in and they're able to work those caution laps to wind down towards the end of the race, they're still not going to have enough to hold off James Ross. He's been the class of the field all night in that 51 Jags Tundra, and he's definitely the guy to beat. So if he gets off pit road quick enough, that's the guy that I look for to take the lead back.
Looks like Jeremy actually did come down pit lane. Just trying to see if anybody took two tires here. I don't believe so. James Ross actually took two tires, so he might be at a disadvantage. Everybody else behind him took four, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not real sure that was the call to make. James Ross, you know, he wants to win this race, but I think you've got to take four here, Curtis. I don't think two's going to get it done.
We saw what it did to that number 97 truck earlier on. It was basically anytime you hit the throttle, the truck the back end wanted to come around. So we'll see if James Ross is even able to drive that thing for 10 laps, but I think it's going to be pretty awful.
Yeah, I agree. I think the 51 might have cost himself the race. Now, Curtis, who are the drivers behind him that took four that we know right away?
Well, both of our picks are up there. Jeff T. Martin's running in third, Mark Jackson's fourth, and Gio Bromanti's made his way back up into fifth. So I think a lot of these guys actually have a better shot at pulling off the win than James Ross does. But it looks like Gary Sexton has stayed out. Or, sorry, no, he stayed out to lead a lap actually, but he's gonna cycle back into that fifth position. I'm not sure what's going on with the scoring. I don't think he actually did stay out to lead a lap.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think the scoring might be messed up. I think it's probably going to re-rack them as they cross the line next time by, and I think we'll have a better idea as well as to who is where on the track right now. But we do know that the 51, the 15, the 3, the 89 are the top four, I believe. Gary Sexton is going to be fit. You know, Mark Jackson, he's done real well tonight. My pick, Jeff T. Martin, he's right there in second. Now, if Jeff T. Martin's on new tires, Curtis, I've got to believe that he's going to be able to get around that 51 relatively easy.
Yeah, I really don't know. It's going to be hard. It's tough to say how the 51's truck is going to react. It's either going to be just a little bit slower, or it's going to be out of control loose. And if it's out of control loose, I do not know how he's going to hold on to the win here. If it's just a little bit slower because the tires are worn a little bit, he might be alright, but I think it's just going to completely change the way that truck drives, and it's going to be tough to drive.
Curtis, what would be the reason that the 51 would decide to stay out, or excuse me, to take two tires this late in the race?
He was probably just trying to match a lot of these other guys' strategy. He thought maybe that's what they had up their sleeve, and he didn't want to lose too many positions, so he just took two tires to be safe. at the same time, he probably knew, hey, all of these guys can take 4, I can take 2, and I'll be at a disadvantage. So there's not much you can do. He's lucky that they all followed him down pit lane, to be honest. So.
Well, fans, right now there's not a fan of the seats as they've all come to their feet. We're going to be working 8 to go this time, or excuse me, 7 to go in the cross and stripe this time by. The inside, James Ross. The outside, Jeff T. Martin. Green as they're back out here at Iowa Speedway. And James Ross gets that huge jump like he always does. We're going to have to see if Mark Jackson, that 3, is able to run him down.
They're 3 wide behind him for the second position. It looks like Mark Jackson's going to hold on to it. Jeff T. Martin's got the run on the outside, and Gabriel Wood's moving his way back up there.
Looks like the 15 of Jeff T. Martin's going to get into the wall just a little bit. No caution, but he's definitely going to get slowed off the pace. It's interesting to see now whether or not that 00 of Gabriel Wood can make those tires start working for him, because as of right now, James Ross is making those 2 tires work. He is gone. 7/10 of a second out on second place, Mark Jackson. Looks like we got a spinner on the inside, Curtis.
And is he going to come back up on the track? And unfortunately, looks like Jeff T. Martin's actually going to trigger the caution back there, and William Davis spins as well.
Now, we're at lap 144, so I believe we're going to get a green-white checkered, Curtis.
Yeah, we might get one final restart here, and it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think this is going to be more of like a quickie yellow. They should get 1 to 2 laps of racing left. Now, Curtis, you and I both know that in iRacing, whenever we have these green-white checkers, there's usually a caution. People get overzealous. They really get after it. There's a spin. But I believe these TYJ drivers can keep it green. I'm not sure if they can keep it clean, but it's definitely going to be an interesting finish, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. It always is when it comes to green-white checkered flags. So James Ross has older tires than all these guys behind him, and if they can just match his pace, like if they can get going at the exact same time he does, be side by side going down into turn 1, they have a great shot at it. But James Ross has just been nailing the restarts all night long, and just been getting a truck length or 2 before he even gets to turn 1.
Yeah, I can't recall a restart where anyone has been able to stay with the 51 at all. Usually he's got a 3 to 4 truck lead as they're entering 1, Curtis.
Yeah, and I'm looking to see if Gabriel Wood's going to be able to make his way back into the top 3 here. He was up in second for a lot of the night, took that EOL penalty for spinning somebody, made it back up to about 3rd place, and then got a little bit sideways himself and was back in the 4th spot. Tires were chewed from that slide, and got back in there, got 4 fresh ones, and see if he's got anything for James Ross now. He's got fresher tires, and he seemed to be the only truck that might have had anything for him all night, if anybody did.
Well, while we're still under caution here, I'll tell you what, let's talk about the 07 of Tyler Chalk. He started 23rd tonight. He's up to the top 5. Curtis, this guy's been able to keep the fenders clean all night long. It's going to be a great points day for Tyler Chalk as well. A couple guys ahead of him were involved in incidents, no longer in the race. So, this is one of those game-changing races where he's going to be able to move up probably a couple spots in the points at the end of the week.
Yeah, Tyler Chalk is one of our youngest drivers here in the series, so he's just trying to learn every race, and he's doing a pretty good job. He's up there in the top 5 right now, as you said. We'll see if he can hold on to it.
Yeah, I tell you what, the people at home are all excited that 3 truck's right there. I know that Kristen Phillips tonight, who's watching, picked the 3 to win, so she's right there with him in that truck. She wants that free 3 topping large Domino's pizza. Fans, we do this every race. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Every race we're giving away 1 free large 3 topping carry out only Domino's pizza. No other league is doing that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave tonight.
And lights must go off on top of the pace car this time by if we're going to get a 1-lap shootout. That's all we're going to have a chance to do is get 1-lap shootout. Green flag is going to be out. White flag will be displayed at the same time, so it's not even Not even that they're coming around to the white flag the next time. It's going to be the white flag drops as they get going. So see if the pace car lights do go off this time, and we get one more lap here.
You know, I really would like to see a restart here for the fans at home. We always want to see it end under checkered. So fans, hold your breath. We're waiting to see if these lights turn off as they cross the line. And it looks like they will not. So it looks like, oh, the lights are off. We're going to have one lap of racing when we come back. Fans, this is going to be an awesome moment. Hold your breath. The 51, he's been able to get the spot all night long on the jump. But we know that 3 of Mark Jackson, he's hungry, just like Kristen Phillips is hungry for that Domino's pizza. So she's holding her breath as well. So, fans, I tell you what, sit back and enjoy, because these guys are about to go at it for an entire lap to see who gets the victory here at Iowa.
And last time we came here to Iowa, James Ross is in the opposite position. He had to, he started from the second position. He had to try and, or I think even the third or fourth position, he had to try and make it work, get back up to the lead. Wasn't able to get the job done. He finished second. See if he's able to get it done here. 1 lap to go. Pace car pulls off. White flag is displayed in the ATOP Gamers 150. 1 lap to go.
They race back into one. It looks like James Ross does what he does best, but hold on, here comes Gio. Gio slams the door on the 07. The 89, he's looking for second. To his outside, he's got Mark Jackson, but up front, James Ross is doing what he's done all night long. That 51 is going to work the high side off of 3 and 4. James Ross, win number 6 in the Domino's TYJ Denton Fender Series. Congratulations to our winner and that Jegs.com Toyota Tundra. How about it, Curtis?
And Gio Bromanti comes home second. Tyler Chalk grabs on to third. So Mark Jackson, not the restart he wanted on the outside.
Gabriel Wood's going to be in 5th. Blake Griffin 6th. Michael Favorite 7th. Vernon Monheim was 8th. William Locklear brings it home in 9th. Jeremy Cranhill in 10th. Jeff T. Martin 11th. Eric Stanford 12th. Jack Watts 13th. Gary Sexton 14th. William Davison 15th. And we go back to our leader, James Ross, who is burning it down on the front straightaway. I tell you what, he put on a clinic here.
Yeah, he did. Win number 6 on the year for James Ross. Another dominant one at that, and just chalking him up this year.
Yeah, there was not a whole lot of doubt as who was going to have the best piece here tonight. That 51, the class of the field. There's a reason he's got 6 wins now, Curtis, and I definitely think that you have to have him as the favorite to win the championship here this year, right now, for the Domino's TYJ Denton Fender Truck Series.
Yeah, guys, if you'll take turns or one of you go through the complete field real quick, I'll get these guys ready for reviews.
I'll pick up where I left off there, Robert. Back in 16th, we got Judd Danielson. 17th, down 3 laps, was Ivan Garcia. 18th was Chad Payne. 19th was Ralph Borsay. 20th, Derek Fisher. 21st, James Sonke, not the night he wanted. 22nd, Tim Ringers. Andrew Kessler, 23rd. Ray Richer, 24th. Gerald Campbell, 25th. John Arsnault was in 26th. Garrett Robinson, 27th. Gary Weston, 28th. David Wright, 29th. Wesley Whitfield, 30th. And finishing shotgun on the field, Joe Owen, who finished in 31st. That is how they do it here tonight at Iowa Speedway. Some great racing from our Domino's TYJ Denton Fender Truck Series drivers. And fans, stick around. We're going to be interviewing the top 3 here shortly.
Yeah, real quick, Joe. I think I've got the 3rd place finisher ready for you to interview Tyler Chalk.
Tyler Chalk, Joe Johnson up in the booth. Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Tyler, we talked about you all night long. You started 23rd. We watched you. You were able to, I don't think you got a scratch on that truck, which is saying something here at Iowa. Tell us how you got to the front.
We really pretty good. Pretty good here at this track, just kind of being conservative. Knew there's going to be a lot of cautions here, but my spotter getting me through all the wrecks, and that's how we did it.
Well, I tell you what, you were certainly impressive out there. Like I said, we were talking about you all night long. Is the biggest mover of the race. Just a great job. Tell me about who you got on the hood of that truck tonight.
RJ Race Cars, part of our Southeast Motorsports team.
Well, I tell you what, RJ Race Cars has got to be thrilled at the finish you guys had tonight. Is there anybody else you want to mention before we let you go?
First and foremost, my father, Nick Reynolds. Also, Dustin. He also helped us with the spotting tonight, and Southeast Motorsports. That's really it.
Well, I've heard that name Nick Reynolds once or twice around high racing. We definitely know that Nick Reynolds is a heck of a driver. So tell him Joe Johnson says hello from Domino's TYJ. Again, man, congratulations. It's a great points night for you, and I'm sure you're going to move up because of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, Tyler Chalk started 23rd, brought it home in that third place spot tonight in that Tundra. So congrats again, man.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now we're going to have Curtis interview our second place finisher.
And I've caught up with the number 89 second place finisher here tonight, Gio Bromanti. Gio, pretty eventful race for you. You went from the back to the front to the back to the front a couple times, and you started in third here tonight. Tell us about your race.
I thought it was pretty crazy. Me and Gabe were fighting pretty hard over position, and I got taken out, and then I somehow got back up there, and the last laps were just crazy. We were 3 wide all over the place, and I don't know how I made it through the last corner.
And you've only ran, this was your 7th race on the year. This was our 15th race on the season, so you've missed quite a few races. You're not really in contention to be in the chase unless you can get a win. How hard were you digging for that win on the final lap there?
I was really good where I'm at, like finishing to James' second place and being right on his bumper is like a first place for me. He's a really great driver, and I've been missing a lot of races because I've been racing a lot in real life.
Yeah, 10-4 on that one. Hope you're doing good there. And is there anybody else you'd like to thank for bringing home second place tonight?
I'd like to thank James, Dave, Andy, Andrew for all the help, and my mom and dad.
All right, Gio. Well, congratulations. We'll let you go and celebrate, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you.
And I think now Joe has caught up with James Ross in Victory Lane.
Robert, I'm down here in Victory Lane with James Ross. James, my man, you had the class of the field all night long. That 51 Tundra seemed like it was untouchable on restarts. Walk us through some of those restarts, because you just got such an incredible jump on these guys. You were able to drive it off into 3 or 4 trucks or truck lengths ahead.
Well, I mean, I was actually pretty surprised all night. I mean, I thought those guys were pretty much going to stay with me, and I mean, I basically went on pace car all night, and it's like nobody went, so I just ran it right down the yellow line, and by the time we got to 1, we were plenty clear. So I mean, it was pretty simple. I wasn't playing any games, just going as soon as the pace car came off.
Yeah, no, 10-4, that's exactly what we saw up in the booth. Another thing is we saw you kind of get mired back there in traffic about 90 laps into the race. You had a little bit of contact on the front end there, but you were able to work your way back up through the field. And all night long we saw guys that didn't have that kind of race where they could work their car up. So what were you doing differently to be able to work traffic where other guys couldn't?
Well, I guess it's. I mean, I like a slick track. I mean, it was slick tonight, especially coming off. Real easy to overdrive. So I mean, we were being real patient, and it's a place like this when it gets like that, you just gotta wait as long as you think you gotta wait, and then you gotta choose another couple of beats and wait some more, and then softly get into it. And I think that was making the difference. Especially guys. The first couple of laps, we're pretty aggressive, and once they burned the real good off the tires, it was hurting them coming off. So I think that's what helped us out a lot, is just managing a little bit there and picking and choosing our places and the right time to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, you certainly knew when the time to go was. It seemed like you were going all night long. Is there anybody out there that you want to say thanks to before we let you go?
Oh, heck yeah, I got a lot of. I mean, first of all, I want to thank, Domino's, Dented Fender Truck Series. I mean, it's a great show every week. I want to thank the guys over at All Pro Broadcasting. You guys do a phenomenal job every week. Michael on the cameras, Joe, you in the booth tonight, and Curtis and Robert. You guys always do a wonderful job. Love the driver bios and stuff. Got to thank all my Aegis buddies, Dave, Giovanni with a great second place finish tonight for him. Andy, Julio, he's not always here, but he's our team owner. My spotter, Mike Arditi, always telling me what I need to know. My wife Leslie, my kids Jimmy and Brooke for giving me the time to do this. And I want to thank special thanks out to my mom and especially my father for Father's Day. We tried getting him a win at the dirt track with my son on Sunday. Didn't come out our way, but I know he's watching tonight. So, Dad, if you're listening, it's a little bit late, but here's your Father's Day gift, buddy.
Hey, you know what? I'm sure he doesn't mind a late gift when it's like this. I know we certainly didn't mind watching you dominate the field tonight. And again, man, from myself, Curtis, and Rob up here in the booth, and Domino's, TYJ, Dented Fender Series Racing, congrats on the win, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well, folks, with that, that's his 6th win on the season. Robert, Curtis, what a race, guys.
Yeah, lots of green flag running there. Pretty good one. Like I said at the beginning of the race, just a couple cautions spread out over wherever, just random places, and pretty much your average race here in the Dented Fenders Truck Series. And James Ross comes out on top yet again, 6th time this season.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. I tell you what, we had a few cautions here, but we had some great side-by-side battles. It was pretty exciting. We had some guys with their feelings hurt, some trucks that were torn up, but we also had a 6-time winner there in James Ross. We do have a free pizza winner tonight. Her name is Kim. I was not able to get her last name. I do not have the city she is in. I have sent her a message. Hopefully I'll hear back from her tonight or tomorrow so I can get that information and get her that free large 3-topping Domino's pizza. We had some really awesome new graphics tonight. Thanks to Michael D'Amico and Gary Sexton. Joe, I want to thank you for being here to help out. Curtis as well. You got any last thoughts, Joe?
I tell you what, I always enjoy coming to the Dented Fenders Truck Series, Rob, to call some of these races. We got some great racers. It's going to be fun to watch them come up through the series as they progress. We know that Curtis came through here last year and just smoked the competition, and he seems to be doing the same thing as he's moved up throughout the series as well. So it's always cool to see new people come in. I know I came in here. Rob, if she doesn't claim that pizza, is there any chance that I could claim it for her? I'm sure I can find her.
Well, I tell you what, Joseph, if you call me Robert, I'll think about it. I'm not real big on the Rob. No big deal. But unfortunately, no, you can't claim it. I can't claim it. Kurtz can't claim it. D'Amico can't claim it. None of the drivers can claim it. Obviously, if you're part of the Domino's TYJ Racing series or league, we have 4 awesome series fans, just so you know. Obviously, the Dented Fender Trucks on Wednesday night. Thursday night alternation between the Premier Xfinity and the Top Shelf Cup. And then Sunday night, we have our newest Renegade Dirt Series. You don't want to miss that. It's also at $8.50. Each one of those times you get a chance to win that free pizza. Unfortunately, none of our drivers can win it. If you work at a Domino's store, obviously you're disqualified as well. I want to thank you again, Curtis and Joe. No big deal on the name thing. I'm just kind of kidding you there. But
it's okay. You know what? I'll call you whatever you want me to call you if I can get that pizza sent to the house tonight. How about that?
All right. I tell you what, it might be there around 3 a.m. So wait up. And, if it's not there by 3, go ahead and go to bed. But, I know you don't have to work tomorrow. Just kidding.
Absolutely. Well, hey, Rob, I appreciate you having me in the booth tonight. Always a pleasure. And Curtis, good doing this thing with you. Rob, you want to sign us off?
Yes, sir. Again, thanks all you fans for watching. Again, tomorrow night you get the second chance this week to win that free pizza. It will be our Premier Xfinity Series fans. You don't want to miss it. They're going to be racing at Kentucky at night. These drivers, a lot of the ones that were here tonight, and a few more that are very, very talented. It's going to be an awesome race. I think Joe will be in that race. Curtis will be in that race. And I will be calling it with a good friend of mine, Tanner Tallarico. It's going to be awesome, fans. So we'll see you tomorrow night. So for Curtis, Joe, Michael, and everybody behind the scenes, all of our admins that have helped out, we will see you tomorrow night, fans. Have a great day tomorrow.
JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.